Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are. Today we will talk a little bit about pandemic diseases and infection protection and preparedness. I hope we don't have to be wearing goggles and masks and gloves anytime soon, but we don't know. Pandemics are recycling or recurring cyclical events which occur approximately once every century. Examples of major pandemics from each major century going backwards in history include the Spanish influenza, cholera, yellow fever, smallpox, typhus, and of course the Black Death, the bubonic plague of the 1300s. Government public health workers have been closely watching several possible diseases even right now, and one is a likely candidate, the avian influenza virus, or you might know it as the bird flu. But instead of just talking about the critical problems, we've prepared this video to give you 3 distinct ways to prepare. In preparing for a pandemic, it may be helpful to think about 3 guiding principles. First, you need to isolate yourself. Second, you need to protect yourself. And third, you need to be able to treat yourself. Let's talk about the first one. Isolate yourself. The best way to avoid any infection is to isolate yourself from the environment and from other people that might be infected. This may mean staying home or away from others. Some experts are saying for 8 weeks or more in a severe pandemic. Now, according to one military contact in Washington, D.C., the recommendation is increasing to as much as 3 months. Now remember, you need to have food and water during this time period as well. So think about that. Now, it's important to note that in a severe pandemic, public officials already have the legal authority to order widespread quarantines. So it may be even illegal for you to leave your home except under critical emergency circumstances. We've included more explanation about this in the information below this video. So, number 1 is to remember to isolate yourself. Now, when you're isolating yourself, you must consider not only isolating yourself from the general population, but someone in your immediate family, if that person contracts this disease, he or she may need to be cared for. So preparing an isolated room will also be important. This video isn't going to cover that topic. However, we will provide additional information on Simply Living Smart following this video. For those who will spend time with care for those who are ill, it is vital to have appropriate infection protection, and that is the second principle. Protect yourself. Should it become necessary to go to public places, despite the pandemic situation, it will be critical for you to protect yourself from the infectious germs. Now, history has shown that it will not be seen as unusual for people to be wearing your face masks, your eye shields, vinyl gloves, and other protective clothing in such a situation. Your care to protect yourself may keep you from getting the flu and from spreading it to others. Now, we have located this flu infection kit, which includes several items in which we will cover in just a minute. First of all, this particular kit comes from LifeSecure.com. This particular kit comes with the instructions on the side so that it's mounted and you won't lose those. In this kit comes all of these materials. First of all, one of the most important principles is the respirator. Now, the respirator is a 2130 N95 respirator. This N95 respirator is recommended by the Center for Disease Control. I'm going to put one on. These particular respirators come so that they have a seal that goes around the nose. This isn't just a dust mask. It also is built so that it fits and forms to your face right around and will seal. Let me show you how. As you put this over your head, the strap over your head, you can put these on to however it fits. You take this and it will actually make a seal around your mouth and nose. You'll notice that it comes deep around the jawline so that there is no air escape. You should be able to breathe through the mask, not through the gaps. There should be no gaps. This is your seal. The second item are the goggles or the eye shields. Number 3, of course, are the gloves. Now, this kit comes with vinyl gloves, a set of 100. You might want to get more if you'd like. I'm going to take this off so it's easier for you to hear and understand me. Besides the gloves, let me talk about the eye shield. This comes in two parts, and they're very simple to assemble. They come with a shield, and they come with a little earpiece that goes over the ears. All you do, there's two sets of holes here and here. You put them through the inside hole, very simply. Fold this over, like that, on each side, and then slide them in. When you slide it right in, it will snap right into place, and there you have it, another eye shield. Now you'll keep those like that. The respirator are to be used for generally one day, okay? And then you would throw these away. Where do you throw them away? That's the next important part. There are 3 of these biohazard bags. They will come, and that's what this kit is for. Take the lid off. Simply open up the biohazard bag, put it into your bucket like this. Put your lid back on and keep it. When you're about ready to throw something away, it would be important that before you open the bucket that you actually have some of these things put on so that you're not getting some of this flu and infection on you. Next important piece is that we have these disposable single-use thermometers. It's a very unique idea. Open it up, use it. When you're done, of course, you're going to put it into your biological hazard waste bag. There are 10 of these hand sanitizers in there. And of course you have tissues, packet of tissues, 1 per person, or so you're not sharing the tissues with other people. Third, treat yourself. Experts have made it clear that in a severe pandemic, local hospitals and other medical facilities can be expected to quickly fill well beyond their capacities. This can happen in a matter of days. I want to give you a personal experience with this. This was not during a major pandemic, just simply a flu outbreak that was not major. We flew in from out of town, and on the airplane, our 2 children contracted pneumonia. When we arrived in Salt Lake City, we took them to the hospital. The hospitals already were filled with people who had pneumonia. We had x-rays. They had verified that it was pneumonia, and they qualified for actually being hospitalized, but there was no room. We had to take them home, care for them there, and we had to return every single day for 7 days to get the correct medication. I want you to know that this can happen, and in a pandemic, the situation would be even far worse. In such a case, it will be important for you to be prepared with basic home treatments for various common flu symptoms, fever, cough, runny nose, and muscle pain. These symptoms may be much more severe, and the complications much more serious than normal seasonal flu. So it is important to have a radio available. Listen to the emergency stations for instructions. Also, write down the phone number for the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Now we have this particular radio and other radios. This particular radio is a Kato and will have the emergency bands. You need to have a radio that has emergency bands. This particular one can also be found on LifeSecure.com. There are other radios available as well. When you contact the Center for Disease Control, or the CDC, they will provide instructions for treatments for the particular outbreak. So remember, be prepared to treat yourself and your family. Let's review. Number 1, isolate yourself, both from the public and from those who are ill in your own home. Number 2, protect yourself. Be able to have the materials to keep yourself from getting sick. And number 3, being able to treat yourself, being able to have access to radio and other methods of communication. For further information on preparing for a pandemic, visit the federal government's official website. That's www.pandemicflu.gov.